So Jules be over there beating on girls and stuff like that right there. So this content creator named Ria, I think it's Ria Jallesa, she came out telling the story time how she was with Jules and how, you know what I'm saying, that he's a
Solange, the family got involved and everybody, you know, kind of, there was some hush money going around.
You can't tell billionaires what to do. You can't at all. You can't take anything away. You can't shame them. You can't embarrass.
Fresh reports have surfaced alleging that Beyoncé supposedly hid a DV incident involving her nephew, July. Twitch streamer Ria Jallesa accused Goals of assaulting her physically and even raising a blick toward her head during an intense confrontation. The situation becomes even more shocking once every detail is revealed, yet it somehow never reached major mainstream news coverage. We're now hearing the reason is that Beyoncé allegedly instructed her PR team to bury the allegations and present Jallesa as someone who fabricated everything. At the same time, plenty of people have been criticizing Beyoncé over these claims, but Hughley views the situation differently. He's saying, "Don't pretend you're surprised because you helped make Beyoncé and her husband billionaires, and this is exactly what billionaires always do. They rely on money and influence to avoid every ounce of scrutiny." Now let's talk about Goals because the entire situation surrounding him has become completely unbelievable. Streamer Ria Jallesa recently went live and shared several alarming accusations. She says she met July at a Houston hotel, and apparently everything spiraled out of control almost immediately. According to her, he became upset over something, completely snapped, and repeatedly punched her without stopping. She even displayed photographs showing bruises, marks, and scratches covering her entire body.
Ain't no way you don't do drugs. So he's like, yeah, I do E's. I do E's. We're literally spooning, y'all. And then he get mad out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. This man, he like, oh, you want to cuddle with me? Why we talking? I don't know what I said, but he grabbed my arm and he threw me up off of him. And he was like, get off of me. He threw me off of him. And at this point, he's literally mad. And I'm like, what the fuck is he mad about? Like, I'm still at this point confused because I literally cannot figure out for the life of me why the man. He drops his bag on the table. He turns back around, y'all, and he start mixing on me. I kid y'all not. Start literally beating me up. Like, literally is beating me and at this point, I blacked out. So I don't know what's going on. Why he's beating me up, I don't know what's going on, but I just know that he was punching me like all in this area, all on my body. Y'all, I had bruises every fucking where. I had bruises all over my arms. I still got a scar from.
However, everything allegedly escalated even further. Ria additionally claimed Jeezy removed a firearm from inside a bag, aimed it directly at her face, then pressed it against her head while delivering threatening warnings.
He pulled that motherfucking bag and he pointed that in my motherfucking face and he's tapping it on my head. Like tapping my head with the I would never do that. Never. He's tapping my head with the and yes, a big gun. But I just remember him saying, douse me and y'all know the brown hair that I had with the highlights, that's why I took that hair out because it was covered in alcohol. I literally had to take my hair out because he poured 2 bottles of liquor over my head, gang. He got mommy problems and he got mommy issues bad. Real bad. I'm not Solange. I can't.
Now, before assuming Ria invented everything for attention, she initially attempted to resolve the situation privately instead. She asked July to replace the phone he damaged during their altercation and assured him she wouldn't reveal what happened. Then July allegedly lost his temper once more, and Ria chose to speak publicly. To support her claims, she presented evidence, including screenshots of text conversations with a contact labeled as Beyoncé Nephew, where he asked her, "You going to try to get me arrested?" She even challenged July to file a defamation lawsuit against her if she's making everything up. Beyond that, Ria isn't the only woman who has shared allegations like these involving Goals. Anyone who has followed this person already knows he's carried a troubling reputation for years. And those concerns reportedly began while he was still a teenager. Back in 2021, when July was only 16, he was dating Sky Jackson, and things became extremely messy. Leaked group chats surfaced showing Gillis speaking recklessly about Sky, claiming he destroyed her life and got revenge because she cheated on him. That supposed revenge involved threatening to leak explicit videos featuring her. Once again, Goals was only 16 then, yet he was already accused of behavior like that. Everyone knows distributing explicit videos of another person without permission is an actual criminal offense. Even so, nothing happened to Gillis, and that entire situation disappeared from public attention remarkably fast. There were also rumors claiming July's family paid Sky hush money, although the controversy didn't end there. Additional rumors claimed he was arrested in Ohio around that same period over a concealed weapon charge. That allegation was never completely verified. Still, considering he's now accused of pulling a piece on someone during 2026, it certainly raises questions about whether this behavior has continued for years. The situation involving Sky marked the first occasion the public truly saw what Jules was reportedly like. Before that point, he was simply Solange's son and Beyoncé's nephew, the quiet teenager standing behind everyone in family photographs. Afterward, however, people began watching him closely, and he continued giving them additional reasons. That all happened during 2021. Yet the controversy definitely continued afterward. During 2022, speculation started spreading that Jules had allegedly gotten an OnlyFans model pregnant. Later, in 2024, matters became even more suspicious when photographs resurfaced showing Jules posing beside a firearm and a blunt. Another rumor also claimed he attempted using the "My aunt is Beyoncé" line to intimidate someone, basically suggesting he believed nobody could touch him because of his family's powerful connections. If those claims are accurate, they explain quite a bit. He was probably raised believing he belonged to royalty and could do absolutely anything without facing consequences. Up to now, he has allegedly managed to escape consequences. And that's supposedly because Beyoncé allegedly used her influence to bury every story involving Jules and silence his alleged victims. Think about everything. Jules has allegedly been seen with firearms, linked to a revenge porn controversy, accused of DV, and accused of threatening Ria's life. So where is the TMZ coverage? Why hasn't Shade Room been discussing these allegations? I'm not claiming there's some massive conspiracy behind everything. However, we're hearing that Beyoncé's team is allegedly working to keep these stories involving Jules from gaining widespread attention, which seems understandable because if there's one thing Beyoncé values, it's her public image, and she doesn't want anything that could possibly damage her brand. She even featured Jules in advertisements for her hair care line. So naturally, the last thing she would want is for allegations about him harming women to become widely known. That's simply how influence operates. Now, I want to mention Hughley because he made a point that really stood out regarding this entire situation. DL has spent decades working in entertainment. He's watched the industry operate firsthand, and he isn't afraid to speak openly about it. He said people need to quit acting surprised whenever situations like this happen because this is exactly how billionaires behave. You can't really shame billionaires. They aren't concerned about being cancelled. They'll use their power to avoid scrutiny every single time. He basically argued that people should stop pretending Beyoncé is an ethical billionaire because, according to him, no such thing actually exists.
You can't tell billionaires what to do. You can't at all. You can't take anything away. You can't shame them. You can't embarrass them because they make the rules. They're in charge. So they have a certain mindset and do things a certain way. And one of them does not include being fair. It is he with the gold makes the rules.
That actually highlights an important point when discussing why controversies involving the Carters rarely seem to have lasting effects. From Solange putting her hands on Jay-Z inside that elevator to Beyoncé wearing blood diamonds and Jay-Z being mentioned in those Diddy and Jeffrey files, every time Beyoncé and those around her appear to escape facing meaningful consequences. When you're worth $1 billion, you simply aren't playing by the same rules as everyone else. You have attorneys, public relations teams, private security, influential media contacts, And once your family reaches that level, the same protection also reaches everyone connected to you. DL talked about how billionaires would rather spend $50 million on a wedding than make sure their employees can read. While that's an entirely different discussion about wealth inequality, his overall point was that billionaires exist within a completely different reality. They aren't expected to meet the same standards or suffer the same consequences. So what can people actually do about it? First, stop idolizing celebrities and treating Beyoncé like royalty. Because when people online begin criticizing Jules and asking, "How is this kid getting away with all this?" that's exactly the reason. His family operates at a level where they simply don't have to respond to that level of public scrutiny. The fans themselves are the ones who placed these people upon those pedestals. So don't act surprised when they behave as though they're above the law, because they literally are. Now you've got Jules Smith, who is 21 years old, and already has an extensive history of poor decisions, questionable conduct, and alleged DV. Yet he's still living freely, showing off across social media, and experiencing virtually no meaningful consequences. Why? Because his aunt is Beyoncé. But let me know what you think about everything. Who deserves the blame for Jules becoming such a menace? Leave your thoughts below, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey, hey, hey!